Hi guys, it's Mrs. Legilia. I'm home today because I have a couple of sick kids, but there are some things that I think you can accomplish without me in the classroom. The first thing I want to mention to you is that I've made an announcement that's posted at the beginning of the stream here, just kind of walking you through our priorities for the day. Especially third period because we had that assembly yesterday. I think a lot of you still need to finish up the article of the week. Any other period, just make sure you've turned it in. So third period, please go and do that as your first priority. Everybody else needs to work on the Dickinson Mentor Letter. So for the Dickinson Mentor Letter, remember that's now the second thing in the stream. All of you should know who you're writing to. You may want to confirm that if you didn't figure it out earlier in the week. There is the template that's pretty empty, and you're going to actually enter your letter here in this space. And then there's the example letter as well. I poked around in a bunch of letters in the classes that have had the most amount of time to work on these. And I think for the most part, you guys are doing a really great job. If I was a fifth grader, I'd be excited to get something, from a kid who knows some stuff about the school I'm about to attend. So thank you for that. One of the things I want to stress, though, is that as I was checking those letters, I found that you are maybe talking a little bit in like slang. You're using some phrases that may not necessarily be the most formal style of writing. The other thing I'm seeing is that so many of you are forgetting to capitalize things. So the word I, right, gets capitalized all the time, and Google Docs does not automatically set that and fix that. The other thing is at the beginning of each sentence, you've got to make sure you're using a capital letter. So we want to be leaders for these kids. We want to set a really good example for them. So we want to make sure that our letters are polished and professional and grammatically correct. The other thing I want to stress is that in this middle paragraph, a lot of you guys have done a great job of explaining what middle school is like, things I never would have thought of mentioning. But a few of them have a little bit of a negative tone to them. So remember, these kids are our future, right? They're going to be you in a few years. So we want to make sure that, yeah, not everything at middle school is perfect, right? Not everything in life is perfect. Sometimes the hallways get jammed. Sometimes, the school lunch is not so great. I think that's real, and I think it's okay to mention that. But we don't want to rip this place apart. So I want you to self-monitor the tone of your letters and make sure that you're not condescending or negative about Northport Middle School. That's not at all the message that we want to send to these kids. We want to pump them up. We want to tell them that if they're scared or nervous, that it's really a pretty great place. People are here to help you. Everybody gets lost sometimes, right? Lockers are a little tricky, but you'll eventually get it. Those are the sorts of messages we want to send to these kids. Then in the final paragraph, encourage them to work hard. Suggest some tips as they get toward the end of their fifth grade year to really soak up some of those experiences. Dickinson has a Washington, D.C. trip. They have the buddy run. There's going to be a moving up ceremony. Those are all really exciting and fun activities for these kids, and encourage them to enjoy them and to get excited about coming to Northport Middle School. The other thing you might want to mention is that they do get to come here for an orientation, and hopefully you'll get to meet them on that day. I don't know the exact date for the orientation. I couldn't figure out what date that was set for, but it's probably sometime in May. Again, I encourage you to include an email address or a phone number, but you don't have to. I just think it shows that you care. But again, you do not have to do this if you're not comfortable with it, but make sure you sign your name. So give them a sincerely or your friend or have a great day, and then sign your name. When you are done with your letter, I need you to please print it off. We don't print very often in this classroom, but we're going to print these. I need you to sign your name. So in order to do that, what you want to do is when you have your closing, you want to make sure you give yourself a little bit of a space here so that you could squeeze your signature into this space right here. And then please hand it to the substitute, and we will distribute these to the Dickinson kids probably sometime early next week. So that is your priority for the day. Make sure you've turned in the article of the week. Make sure that you have proofed and finished your Dickinson letter and that you have printed it, signed it, and handed it in. If you still have extra time, then there is posted in the stream in today's announcement this how to find a theme video, and it's actually a really good video that explains the concept of a theme. The reason that this is important is because next week you are going to be doing an on-demand, right? That means just kind of out of the blue, almost like a pop essay in this class. And it's going to ask you to discover the theme in two stories, right? One's called Worth the Wait, and the other one is called The Story of My Life. And they're both actually quite interesting. But if you don't understand what a theme is, it's going to be pretty hard to write this essay. So if you finish early, please take some time to watch the theme video. And again, it's posted here in the stream. Just keep your headphones plugged in and try not to disrupt your neighbors, but I think it's worth your time and effort to watch this. Thanks, everybody. I know you'll be awesome for the sub. Let's make sure we have a productive day, and I will see you on Monday. Oh, and by the way, fourth period. I will hand your papers back to you Monday. I don't want to do that when I'm not in class. And honestly, I have about 6 more to grade, so I'm going to do it while my kids are sleeping today. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.